she is. Okay, let me introduce you. Okay. Dawn is the founding director of A Well-Fed World, a food justice and animal protection organization. AWFW provides vegan food to those in need and grants for innovative projects. Her area of expertise is the detrimental impact of meat and animal products on global hunger, especially for women and children. Very important issue. So let's put our hands together now for Dawn Moncrief.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to be doing some very exciting stuff here. Some of it's pretty advanced. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to handle it. I'm going to save it for last just in case. Again, I'm Dawn Moncrief with A Well-Fed World, and the concept is well-fed for underfed people and overfed. And we work on the global hunger issues. We do direct feed-ins where we're feeding people vegan food. Hi, Dr. Clapper. And we also work on the structural issues, so getting the subsidies away from factory farms, getting to fresh fruits and vegetables, farm to school, all kinds of great stuff. So that's what we do. We are at AWFW.org, A Well-Fed World. All right, so what I'm going to talk to you about briefly is the global hunger connection. And you'll hear vegetarians and vegans speaking about it, but we don't speak about it in an accurate enough way. It's very simplified, which makes sense, but then it discredits us as a movement. So you'll hear sometimes, if the U.S. were to decrease our meat consumption by 10%, there would be enough food in the world to feed everyone who is hungry, because it is so inefficient to make meat, because we feed so many grains, soybeans, corns to animals, and we only get a 16-to-1 ratio or a 7-to-1 ratio, that we could use those foods to directly feed people. And that's true, but what people will say is, well, we eat 10% less. That doesn't get the food to the people. The issue is not scarcity, it's distribution. So that's what makes our argument discredited, and then people will not listen to you as much. So what it is that scarcity and distribution are tied together. So you can't just say, oh, the 10%, but what happens is it raises the price and it increases the demand. So the food prices that we just saw with the biofuels, when they increased the demand on the food staples, you saw the prices drastically increase and hunger prices drastically increase. But if we were not eating so much meat, we would not be using those types of food resources in the first place. So that's an example, but we do this on such a regular basis. 24,000 people die every day from hunger and hunger-related causes, but you don't hear about it as news because it's not news. Okay, so that's the supply and demand, and I'm going to do a quick prop example of supply and demand to show how it relates directly to you for gas prices. So we all know gas prices are increasing, and as gas prices increase, the price of food increases, including the price of meat. Everything increases when the price of gas increases. What we don't know, what we don't think about, is that eating less meat can reduce gas prices. So higher gas prices means higher meat and other food prices. Less meat can mean less gas prices. So I need some props. Will you come be a prop? Will you be a prop for me? Hey, Nathan Runkle, will you be a prop for me? I need a prop. Who wants to be a prop? Hey, World Peace, come be a prop for me, please. All right. So here's the quick, all right. Supply and demand. All right. So what we have here, this is a quick supply and demand lesson. Wait, hey, no, there's no sharing. That's the whole point. We have 3 gallons of gas. 3 gallons of gas. I want to get rid of 3 people who want to buy gallons of gas. So you're a gallon, you're a gallon. I can sell these gallons of gas, let's say $4 a gallon right now, okay, right? We're paying $4 a gallon. If more people want gas, if the demand increases, the price will increase. So by me taking up more gas, increasing the demand for gas and energy, it makes the gas prices increase. And to demonstrate this, Nathan Runkle comes in and says, I want a gallon of gas and I'm willing to pay $5. $5, but there's only 3 gallons of gas. So what happens here is World Peace is either unwilling, like heck no, I'm taking a bus, or unable, which is likely the case because a lot of people just cannot afford the gas and then they can't afford the food. So she loses her gallon of gas to the one who's willing to pay more, $5, and it's going to elevate the price of all the gas. So the gas will increase maybe to $4.50 a gallon and eventually to $5. Again, the reason this happens is that the demand for gas is greater. So if the supply is the same and the demand increases, it increases the price. But conversely, if we eat less meat, we use less gas, the demand decreases, and it will lower gas prices. And the U.S. is massive overconsumers of meat. Meat itself is overconsumption, but as a U.S. citizen, as a group, we overconsume. We're one of the top overconsuming countries per capita. We have a great power and opportunity with that so that we can actually make a big difference. So obviously, the more vegans, thank you guys, thank you. The more vegans, the more vegetarians, the better. But if we can get mass reduction, if we can get 80% of America to reduce 20%, it is a massive impact on the price of gas, on the use of energy, which as conservationists, even if it's not for the price, we want reduced use of energy, lower gas prices, lower food prices, which affects distribution. And so that's what happens. That's why distribution and scarcity are impacted. Because when the wealthy can buy more food and eat more meat, it pulls the resources from the poorest of the poor. In Ethiopia during the 80s, they were exporting food for feed to feed the wealthy countries in the 80s, in the industrialized countries. That happened in the 80s, it's happening now. It still happens. That is the norm, that is standard operating procedure. So when you're talking to your friends, we talk about minimizing meat, avoiding animal products, but also, of course, the vegetarian vegan message. But anything people can do, it's not about perfection. So again, my name is Moncrief. This is a lot to cover. I can cover this in 2 hours or less. But we have materials online, and it's very important. Nobody is really discussing this issue. So, Moncrief, A Well-Fed World, we're right over there, new organization. Thank you so much for your concern and staying out for an energy supply-demand talk. Wow.